Okay, today's the day. I'm going to start putting that Maco Comet together. See that? I've already taken all the hardware out of the package. Got the mast plate all assembled. Got the element clamps put together with their the bracket for them. I have all the little clamps all assembled. I got my instruction manual set up right here. That tripod, I've got it weighed down with some brake rotors. Luckily I did some brake jobs recently. And the pole is plumb. So I'm going to get to putting this together, get that mast plate on there, get the boom on there. Let's see what happens. It's going to be so nice on that setup. It is going to be so easy to stand this thing up and lower it down. Started putting the elements together. I got the boom all leveled. And what we have to do is obviously get them at the right angles. But over here, they need to be center to center, an 1 7/8 from the center of this one to the center of that one. If you just put your tape measure on the outside of the pipe and then measure the outside of the pipe, we're at an 1 7/8. I'm working on that other one now. This one here, I believe I already have it at the 1 7/8. I just need to finish snugging up and then making sure that everything is level. And that needs to go over just a little bit. And hang on, I gotta set it square to the boom. Oh, there it is. kind of level and square. Check our measurement. I went just a smidge too far. Alright, let me snug that up. We'll get it just a little bit tighter, and then I'm going to check level and plumb. Just don't want them moving around a lot. I'm going to leave them so that they can still be moved, but won't move on their own. In the last video, somebody asked about the PC and what the PC was for. The PC is just a helping hand. Today it's being used as a table and as a seat. Last time it was being used as a footing for the mast. Alright, see, this is why I had to leave it so that I could still move it, because that one was a little out of whack. And this one is also a little out. That one I tightened up quite a bit. Oh, too far. Too far again. That looks pretty good. What was that? Alright, we don't have any of them tightened up yet. They're snug. They're really snug. The elements won't move, but I want to get all three of them set up first. Once they're all, I know they're all in line where they're supposed to be, then I will do the finished tightening on them, but they're not going to go anywhere for now. Alright, we're going to move down to that end. And, oh, I got to go over to the instructions first. Come on over here with me, Bart. We need to go, see the front two elements, the ones I just put on, they're 57 inches apart, center to center. And now I got to set the rear, the reflector, to 78 inches. Well, good. I had to check it because I just bumped into that footing. loosen this up a bit. It doesn't really want to slide on that boom yet. I was just about to say, I know that element's going to drop out on us. I have these way too far in. Let's just let that hang there for a minute. See if we can get it rough where it's supposed to be. Where we need to be. This thing utilizes the entire length of the boom. Alright, let's slide this back up. Grabbed the wrong ratchet. One's got a 7/16 socket on it. Let's get that straight. I can already see it was a little crooked that way. Still a little bit. Now, stop that boom from bouncing. See, without even using the level yet, that it was crooked. That says it's where it needs to be, so I want to tighten that up just a little bit more. Trick I learned years ago to not over tighten. Hold the ratchet way down like this. Without the extra leverage, you're not going to over tighten it. Alright, let me come around this side. Let's flip that over where it's supposed to be. Here's my marks. There's one, there's the other. See what Mr. Level says. So easy to go too much. The fly goes in my ear. Barbara's going to hand that camera over. Alright, this back one looks like it might be off just a smidge. Oh, maybe not. I guess it was just the angle I was looking at it. How about the verticals? Yeah, this whole back one looks like it's off just a little bit. Both elements actually need to turn a little to the right. Let me check that level again. Alright, they're all in line now. They're all plumbed, all leveled. Now I'm going to tighten up all those U-bolts. And this is going a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. After those are all tightened up, I'll start installing the gamma matches on there. The elements are all set where they need to be. I use the impact on it just because, you know, when you use a ratchet, you end up twisting the whole thing. Using the impact doesn't twist it. So what I did was I started out on the lowest setting on the impact and then rechecked everything. Had to adjust this end one a little bit. And then I bumped up the torque level on the impact. And I think that's as tight as I'm going to put them. They don't really need to go much tighter than that. They're not going to move. Oh, let's break out those gamma matches. We got 2 of them. And I guess I need to assemble the rest of the clamps that I have. Got the clamps for the ends of the gamma match. I just didn't want to do that until I had the gamma matches ready to go on. They go in here. Okay, I have the gamma matches installed now. You put the bracket for the gamma match right flush against the bracket for the element. And the top one, the horizontal, you measure from the outside edge of that strap to the outside edge of this strap, and it's 21.5 inches. And then the slide out here is from the edge of it, the end of the rubber, to the end of the aluminum tube, and this one is 3 3/4 of an inch. The other gamma match is the same thing. The bracket goes right up against the bracket for the element, and then we measure from the top of the very top of it to the very bottom of it, and that one is 27 inches long. And then the slide out on this one from the edge here to the edge there is 3.5 inches. That's the initial tune on it. That'll get us close. And then from there, then we'll do the fine tuning. I haven't done any of the final tightening yet of those screws. They're tight enough to be holding well. But I'm sure we're gonna have to adjust it a little bit. So I left them, I didn't fully tighten them. I'm just waiting on my coax cable now. FedEx is supposed to be here today with new coax cables. The coax that I currently have on that antenna is not long enough to be able to work with this antenna. That one just makes it. That's a 36-foot run. I have 2 50-foot coax cables coming in. As soon as they get here, that V58 is going to come down, and this is going to get put on that mast above that rotor. Then we'll finish assembling this antenna. There will be a couple of elements that I have to put on, the ones on this side of it. These are going to have to go on before I put it on the mast, because these are going to be up in the air and a lot harder to reach once it's on that mast. The other 3 will be pretty easy to put on with the boom mounted on that mast. All right, as soon as the coax cables get here, I'll get back to work. Well, it's the next day. I did some work on it overnight, after dark. I had some lights set up out here. Unfortunately, the camera couldn't see anything I was doing. The antenna is on the boom, on the mast. Now I just got to add the rest of the elements to it. The reflector is all set up. That was a challenge to get that together and then get it up on that mast. And I'm going to add the rest of those elements and then start running my coax. Now we can stand it up and test it out. It was rough in here last night. I come down here after dinner, and no radio last night because no antenna up there. All right, let me get to putting this thing together. I have the coax all installed now, and it's time to stand this thing up and check the tune. I'm gonna set you in the tripod so you can watch me stand that thing up. Yep, and it's tuned. Came out pretty good. The vertical tuning, I got 1.1 to 1 on channel 20, 1.3 to 1 on channel 1 and channel 40. And for the horizontal I kind of changed things around a little bit. I shortened the director and the active element. I shortened them equally. Well, actually, I ran the numbers. From what I came up with, Maco had the director 2.4% shorter than the driven element. So I kept that ratio. When I adjusted the horizontal element, I also adjusted the director and moved them both in so that it's tuned well on channel 30 to channel 70. All right, we're going to play with this one for quite a while. This one's going to stay there for a while. Eventually, I am going to figure out some support lines and pick that pole up, because that antenna can go up another 7 or 8 feet up more. The wall mount that I made for it, well, if you watch that last video, you know that that mounting is strong enough to carry the weight. Now, once I have support lines so that the pole doesn't bend in the wind, it's going to go up probably another 7 feet. I'm probably going to put the bottom of the pipe even with the top of the garage door. And then I can just slide it back down whenever I need to fold the antenna over, because as you just saw in that last clip, that antenna comes over to the right. All right, guys, that's it. That's the Maco Comet. It's a horizontal and vertical dual polarity antenna. All right, guys, I'll catch you next time. 73s.